last class, I have already finished few important things like what is the structure of the ovum, what is fertilization, okay, what is fertilization. Please turn off your audio if it is not in use. Okay, when you want to ask questions, you can turn on, but otherwise please turn off. Dipankar, please turn off. I am muting you. Okay. Okay, so we have already discussed the fertilization. We have already discussed the fertilization and all the details, single bits of discussions we have already made. Those who are new here, don't worry, just go and watch websites. Okay, so today we'll talk about mainly the fertilization is over, and I have also discussed in the last class the embryonic development. I have also discussed about the embryonic development. I think you are remembering this. That's why, and the development, in the developmental portions, I told about that this is the, can you tell me what is this layer of cells? This is called trophoblast. This is the trophoblast layer. And this trophoblast cells, again, divided into two layers. I mean, again, they are two types. Basically, at one point, they are dividing so fast. As they are dividing so fast, they are looking like that. They seems to be attached with one another, and the margin of the cells are not clear. That's why this region is known as, who can tell me? Who can tell me this region of cell is known as?
Syncytoblast.
Yeah, this is syncytotrophoblast. Syn means marriage. Syns means wedding. So syns means when it is fused. As in this particular area, we are, please follow my cursor. In this particular area, we are unable to understand the margin of each cell. That's why these are known as syncytotrophoblast. Syn means fused together. Okay, that's why these trophoblasts are syncytotrophoblast. But if you look these cells, which is surrounding the periphery of the embryo, periphery of the mass, periphery of the embryo, you can find that each of the border of the cells are clear. The cell membranes are clear. Okay, that's why this is known as basically known as your cytotrophoblast. So these are the cytotrophoblast, but in front this is syncytotrophoblast. So are you getting my point? I think. And can you tell me which syncytotrophoblast or cytotrophoblast which helps in implantations? Implantation means it is the attachment of the fetus with which layer? Only endometrium. So inside only endometrium. Don't tell this is myometrium. That's why I'm drawing this picture in a clear way. This is a previous year NEET question. It has been already set in previous year questions. So don't get confused. Your fetus implantation should not go up to the muscle layer, I mean myometrium. It should be confined inside the endometrium. That's why I'm repetitively I'm telling that it should be confined in the endometrium. It should not. Your syncytotrophoblast should not touch the myo. It should remain in the endo, and endo is the black colored layer. And this is the myometrium. So it should not invade the myo, the implantation procedure. So right now we are dealing with the MCQs of implantation. So write down the MCQ 1 of the day. Implantations, MCQ 1 of the day. It's a very important MCQ. Okay. Number 1, in which day this procedure starts? The answer is 5th. For some ladies, it starts in 6th. So in the day 5 to day 6, this procedure starts. The implantation procedure starts. Second MCQ is that the implantation occurs at what is the site? The site is not myo, only endo. Only endo, not myo, not myometrium, only endometrium. This is another important MCQ point. Point number 3, which layer helps in implantation? Cytotrophoblast or syncytotrophoblast? If you have proper knowledge and idea, you can easily expect that syncytotrophoblast. It is syncytotrophoblast. Can you tell me how the syncytotrophoblast is helping in implantations? The answer is syncytotrophoblast is forming some finger-like projections. These fingers, suppose I have fingers. If I want to grab your hands, if I want to hold something, I will use I won't use my arms. Rather, I will use my fingers, because these fingers are made in this way that it can easily anchor anything. Okay, so the syncytotrophoblast are forming something which is actually looking like a finger, and that's why like a villi or finger, and this is known as chorionic villi. Why it's chorionic? Chorionic means chorion, chorionic. Why it's chorion means fetus. Okay, chorionic means fetal membrane. So as you know, this is the part of the fetus. I mean, syncytiotrophoblasts is a part of the fetal membrane. That's why it is called chorionic villi. That's why this is called chorionic villi. This is a finger-like villi which is originating not from the mother's end. It is originating from the baby's end. That's why it is called chorionic villi. Are you getting my points? Yes. The last MCQ, which one hormone is very, very famous and MCQ hormone which is released from the chorionic villi? Can you tell me what is the answer? Which hormone is, yeah, this is HCG. Yes, absolutely correct, which is called human chorionic gonadotropin. Human means human, chorionic means chorion is the fetal membrane. It is the hormone released from the syncytiotropoblast, and syncytiotropoblast is a part of the fetus. That's why it is again C, HCG, C, and G for gonadotropin, because it will stimulate the gonad, I mean the ovary. And you know, if HCG stimulates the ovary, that means they are telling the corpus luteum Cl to stay. Please stay. Thora rukja or, that is called. Okay. Now the question is that HCG will say the corpus luteum to stay for how many days? To stay for next 3 months. To stay for next 3 months. Why only for next 3 months? Not more than 3 months. So it will butter. I mean, it will say, it will request the corpus luteum, please stay in my body. HCG will request, and only for 3 months, because why not more than 3 months? Because after 3 months, some structures will be formed in between the like this, like here. Please follow me first, then write it down. Put your pen down for the time being and follow me carefully what I'm drawing right now. I'm drawing something as a structure which is formed togetherly by the contributions of the fetal membrane and maternal membrane. Mother's membrane and fetal membrane combinedly, they are forming something which is right now is underdeveloped before 3 months, but after 3 months it will be developed properly. Can you tell me the next topic of our discussion? Can you tell me the next topic of our discussion? Placenta. Yes, it is placenta. Absolutely correct answer. This is placenta. So placenta will be formed at month of 3. So placenta is going to be formed at 3 months. It's a very, very important MCQ. Okay, so placenta, will not talk much. We'll only talk about the MCQ points and we'll crack NEET exams in this way. So placenta, this is 3 months. So this is 3 months. It's a very, very important exam, a very, very important question for the NEET exam, that placenta will be formed at 3 months. Okay, I mean 12 weeks. 12 weeks. Okay, 12 weeks or 3 months, placenta will be formed. For till that time, the HCG will request corpus luteum to stay. But for what reason? Because corpus luteum is the only source of progesterone and estrogen in the body of a lady. So the equation is very clear. After the 3 months, who will be the source of estrogen and progesterone? Write me this question. After 3 months, after 3 months for the development of the baby. After 3 months for the development of the baby. After 3 months for the development of the baby, the progesterone and estrogen which is required, that will be released by placenta. Yes, absolutely correct answer. For the development of the baby, the progesterone and the estrogen which is required will be secreted by placenta. Will be placenta. But when the placenta is matured, I mean after 3 months. So before 3 months, corpus luteum will perform this responsibility, that yes, I will secrete the estrogen and progesterone for the growth, to support the growth of the baby. But after the 3 months, I will not support, rather I will again degenerate like a normal non-pregnant lady. After 3 months, placenta get ready. You have to hand over my duty to you. Okay, I have to hand over my duty to you to secrete estrogen and placenta. Are you getting my points? Each and every bits of MCQ we have discussed from the placenta. Everything is important. Placenta. Okay, now can you tell me, when a lady is testing the urine to just judge that whether the lady is pregnant or not, what is the hormone that we are estimating in the urine? What is the hormone? HCG. Yeah, it is HCG. It is HCG in the strip, in the Pregga strip. When we are putting a drop of the urine, we are just identifying that whether HCG is present or not. If we find that HCG should not be present in a non-pregnant lady, but in a pregnant lady it will be present, and it will give a double mark. This is another techniques that I am not discussing right now. You have to only remember the hormone which are which we will find in urine. That is something I want to tell, that you will find a lot of HCG hormone in the urine. And that's why we are just estimating the level of HCG hormone in the urine in only pregnant lady, Now the question is before you. Suppose a lady is complaining that the lady is confused that whether she is pregnant or not. And she is asking, doctor, when I should test, before 7 days or after 7 days? What you will say? You will suppose the lady is asking, doctor, just before just the last night, I found that I had some unprotected sex and I might get pregnant. So what should I do? When should I use the Preganews kit? I should use the Preganews kit just tomorrow or today, or I should use the Preganews kit at least 7-8 days after. Can you tell me what's the answer?
In general, after missing first period.
Yes. No, not after the first period. Suppose this is the act of coitus. Act of coitus means sexual interactions. So suppose this is the act of coitus. So from the act of coitus, suppose I'm considering today is the act of coitus. So today is the chance of fertilization, obviously. Actually, fertilization also takes some time. If today is the act of coitus, fertilization takes at least 24 hours. So if today is the act of coitus, after 24 days, so not 24 days, I mean 24 hours, there is a chance of fertilization, okay? Fertilization, okay? And if after 24 hours the fertilization occurs, I mean at the ampulla, the male gamete and female gamete fuses, then what you will find? You will find that it will take some time first to form morula, then to form blastula, then to come into the uterine cavity, and then to implant into the endometrium of the uterine cavity, and that is called implantation and formations of chorionic villi. And as you know that the implantation procedure is only done when it is 5 to 6 days, or basically 5 to 7 days you can also consider. So, and then only, you know, and from the chorionic villi, the hormone HCG secretes, and that hormone will mix into the blood, and that blood will be filtered in the kidney. And when it is filtered in the kidney, along with the blood, you know, during the filtration process, in the urine, the HCG will come from the blood, and ultimately that will be micturated from the bladder, and you can collect the urine and you can check the HCG level. So the answer of the lady, the answer of the questions of the lady is 5 to 7 days. But basically you will tell no, the 7 to 8 days. Okay, if there is no value of checking the HCG level of the urine before 7-8 days. So you will ask the lady, check whether you are pregnant or not at least 7 to 8 days or 9 days after your act of coitus. Okay. This is a AIMS question that was asked in 2015. It's very, very important questions. Okay. That's completely, I think you are getting all the bits of concept. These all are individual concepts. Okay. One thing I want to tell, the books that I have suggested, MTG NEET Champion, if you are solving that book at least for twice, you know, there are already many previous year questions from different institutes like JIPMER, AIMS, NEET exams, and NTA, and so on are already given. So if you are purchasing that book, and if you are just solving that books twice, okay, and it is possible because that book is very small. That's why I used to suggest that book. I'm not suggesting any books which is containing 1,000 to 3,000 pages and MCQs. I'm suggesting such a book which contains only 500 pages and limited amount of the MCQs that is solvable. And if you are genuinely and honestly solving from cover to cover all the MCQ for twice, first time for all solve, second time only to solve the circling questions. I mean only those questions you have marked in star marks or bookmarked. I can assure you no one can oppose you to get 350 out of 360. In the last year this happened. That's why I'm telling. Every year it actually happens. So please follow my instructions. Don't jump into solving random MCQs from any book. Rather, first try to complete the chapters. First try to complete from cover to cover solve of each and every chapter along with me. Okay. So this is very, 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 very important. And as I already know that I'm already attached with MTG, so that's why I'm suggesting MTG, and MTG is a very, very good book, and it's a very good book for biology, definitely. Okay. Anyways, and in our classes, I think you know what book we do is suggest for physics and chemistry as well. Anyways, the next part that I will discuss right now is the complete discussions, few more MCQs from the placenta. So the next topic is coming on the screen. This is placenta. Okay, the first concept that you have to know, the placenta is, okay, first thing, just follow my diagram. Who can tell me? This is my diagram. Suppose I have drawn something like, yeah, suppose this is the uterus. Okay, all right. And suppose this is the cervix, suppose, okay. And this is like the vagina, all right. Okay, and this is the fallopian tube, all right. This is another fallopian tube, all right. And suppose this is a baby, okay, right now. This is a baby sleeping, suppose, okay. Anyways, and this is like the this is something structure, cord-like structure, I think you know, which is connected with the umbilicus of the baby. Okay, all right. And the next thing is that suppose this is connected with some structures like this. Yes, absolutely correct answer. And the next is this is lying in the bed of uterus, I mean in the endometrium of the uterus. Yes, absolutely correct. My question is that in the year 2017, one question was there, can you name this one, and can you name this one, and can you name this one? There are three different parts. Who can name? This is suppose 1, number 2, and number 3. If you have proper concept, then you can answer. What is number 1? Tell me. I have already discussed. There are a lot of options. Today, I'm not creating any poll. And I think you know your physics teacher, Kaustubh sir, has already started some creating polls, and you will start voting, and then depending upon that, this is really enjoyable, I know. But in the biology, we have to go faster. That's why I'm not today creating poll, but I promise you in the revision master classes, I will create polls and we'll revise in that way. Anyways, can you tell me the number 1, which is, I'm just telling you, number 1 is endometrium, myometrium, or perimetrium? Tell me.
Endometrium.
Absolutely correct answer. This is only endometrium. Don't think that number 1 is myometrium. Yeah, definitely myometrium is there, but on the placenta, I mean, which is just below the placenta, is the endometrium. Okay. Anyways, next you tell me what is number 2.
Placenta.
Yeah, number 2 is placenta. Absolutely correct answer. This is the placenta. Okay, now you tell me what is number 3.
Umbilical cord.
Yeah, this is UC or umbilical cord. So my take-home message is that umbilical cord is connecting the fetus and the placenta, not the fetus and uterus. That was the MCQ in 2017. Umbilical cord is connecting the fetus and placenta, not the fetus and directly mother. Okay, yeah, it's indirectly connecting the mother. That's true. But if in the options, I think many of you are sending questions in your personal mentorship group, one-to-one group, which you have. There, I found a lot of questions where you people are confused in between 2 options. Okay, and you people are confused that, sir, these both are answered. What I have to choose? Then you have to think. Suppose in the same questions, the umbilical, one option is umbilical cord is connecting fetus and mother. The people who don't have proper concept, they will jump and mark that options. But if you are finding in any options that it is given that umbilical cord is connecting the mother and the placenta, now you tell me which is best answer. That is the best answer. Because if you have the knowledge of the diagram, if you have the proper concept, you can answer, yes, it is the best answer is this. So when you are confused in between 2, then think deeply that what SAT taught in class, what is the actual concept. Okay, so you have to think about the umbilical cord is connecting the fetus and the placenta. That is the best answer, specific answer. Okay. Okay, and definitely it is indirectly connecting the mother's body. That's true, but the best answer is umbilical cord is connecting the fetus and the placenta. Okay. Okay, and what is placenta? So what is placenta is doing? Placenta is better. You can tell placenta is connecting mother and fetus. Okay, and the best answer is obviously placenta is connecting the umbilical cord and the mother's body. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, everyone, are you getting my point? Okay, so the placenta, the first thing you have to know, the placenta is something which is connecting mother and the fetus. Number 1 point from the placenta. Number 2, when a placenta is completely developed, it takes almost 3 months or 12 weeks. These all are MCQ. Okay, I am just summarizing all the MCQ points till now that. Okay, so this is 3 months or 12 weeks are taken to form a complete placenta. Now the third question is that suppose this is the placenta. if this is the third question is that what type of placenta we the human have, because there are a lot of placenta in the animal kingdom, whole animal kingdoms. Okay, but we the human is having, please write it down, this is very, very important. Human placenta is circular, number one. Okay, this is very important. Human placenta is circular. Second is human placenta, if you see the mother's body, it is actually floating on the mother's blood. So this is called hemochoroidal placenta. Hemochoroidal placenta. Hemochoroidal placenta. It is floating on the mother's blood. So I mean, how many membranes are there? The fetus is having only the membrane, but the mother is not having any membrane. Rather it is actual. You can tell me, sir, then it should be fall, na? You can tell me it should be fallen from the uterus. No, don't think in this way, because the next thing you have to understand, the endometrium. The endometrium is modified during the pregnancy, and it encapsulates the fetus so that they can hold the fetus in proper position. But don't ever think this, that the mother's body, suppose this is the mother's body, there is suppose the mother's tissue, suppose this is the mother's blood. Don't think that this is the blood vessels of the mother and this is like the fetus, because you have to think the wall of the mother's blood. If you know now, the wall of the mother's blood is actually dissolved. Dissolved means it is actually dissolved. It is dissolved. That's why this is hemochoroidal placenta from our side, that in the mother's blood directly the baby is floating. But okay, and why it is not falling on the uterus? Because it is encapsulated by the modified endometrium. So I am drawing for you right now, because some of you might be confused with it. So that's why I'm drawing. Suppose this is the mother's cervix, this is the mother's vagina, like this and these and these. So suppose this is the fetus. Okay, all right. Suppose this is the fetus, this is the placenta. All right, this is the umbilical cord. All right. What I want to tell you, that don't suppose this is the placenta. Yeah, so this is the placenta. So this is the contributions of the fetal membrane. I mean, this is a fetal membrane. Fetus is suppose. So if in any placenta there are two sides. One side facing the fetus, another side facing the mother. Okay, and whatever be the side, in the fetal side there is definitely fetal membrane. In the mother side, please consider there is no membrane at all. In the mother sides, even there is no intervening membrane. Directly it is floating in the mother's blood. In the mother's side, it is directly floating in the mother's blood. So human placenta is hemochoroidal. I mean, there at one surface there is blood, in the another surface there is chorion. Chorion means, tell me what is chorion. Please tell me. This is the chorion. I am drawing in blue. Sorry, I am drawing in green for you. This is the chorion. Now you tell me. Are you getting what is chorion? I have already drawn. Are you getting what is chorion? Yeah, fetal membrane is chorion. Yes, so that's why I'm telling human placenta is hemochoroidal placenta. I mean, at mother's surface there is only and only blood. No membrane is there. Only blood and blood and blood in the mother's surface. And the fetal surface there is membrane. So that's why human placenta is circular placenta. It is a hemochoroidal placenta. Okay. Can you tell me human egg? I told. Because this is another question. Alecythal, microlecithal, polylecithal. What type of egg we the human have?
Alecythal.
Yeah, it is alecythal egg. It's another question that teachers basically are asking in the NEET exams. Okay, so these are very, very important. And the next thing you have to think about from the placenta, the placental hormone. It's another concept of NCERT that you have to know. What is the placental hormone? So the first thing you have to know, there are some exclusive hormone which is released from the placenta. I think you already know two important hormones that we have already discussed. Okay, first thing you have to know the HCG. The question is the HCG. If you talk, you might be confused, sir. Should we consider the chorionic villi as a part of placenta? Yeah, they are the forerunner of the placenta. If chorionic villi are not forming, if the implantation is not performed, do you think the placenta will be formed? No. So we have to consider the chorionic villi as the previous structure or the ancestral structures of the placenta. Okay, so we can consider that the HCG, we know HCG is released from the mainly from the chorionic villi, and it is also considered as a precursor structures of placenta, because chorionic villi is initial structures to form a placenta. That's why we can say that HCG is also released from a placenta. Are you getting my point now? What I'm telling? Okay, so you have to remember the hormone which is released from the placenta is number 1, HCG, which is human chorionic gonadotrophin. And you already know this is a MCQ hormone. HCG hormone is an MCQ hormone for any competitive exams. Right now, it is just only one exams in all India. But even when we found there are a lot of centralized exam like AIMS, JIPMA, BHU, still there, all of the institutes, they definitely will set a questions on HCG. So HCG is very, very MCQ question. MCQ. Second is HPL. What is HPL? Human placental lactogen. I mean, this is something, a hormone which will be released from the placenta. It will help to form milk in the mother's breast. Okay, it will help in forming milk in the mother's breast, and it is released from placenta. Third hormone, what you have to remember from NCERT is very important, estrogen. Yes, true. Estrogen is also released from the placenta, and progesterone is something which is also released by the placenta. These are basically 4 important hormones that you have to remember, which is directly mentioned in NCERT. There are a lot of others hormone too, but I am not mentioning that because it is not mentioned in NCERT. But 5th hormone that you have to remember, which is, these are the hormone which is released from the placenta. The hormone which right now I have written on the board in red color, it is released from the placenta. Now I will mention few hormone which is released by the ovary during the time of pregnancy. So during pregnancy from ovary, one important hormone is released. Who can tell me? It is mentioned in NCERT, that is relaxin. So relaxin is another hormone which is secreted from the ovary only during pregnancy. Okay. What is the functions of the relaxin? The function of the relaxin is that, suppose if you know the cover, I mean, this all the pelvic organs like our urinary bladder, the uterus, all of them are situated basically under the cover of some bones. Can you tell me the name of these bones? These are the hip bones. So pelvic under the cover of hip bones, hip bones or pelvic bones. So if you want to parturiate a baby, if you want to deliver a baby, what you are expecting, suppose this is the outlet of the hip, pelvic outlet of the, suppose this is the, suppose the inlet and outlet. Suppose from this bony outlet the baby will come. So what is our purpose? The purpose is during the process of delivery we should expand it so that the baby head can come and all the body can be delivered of the baby. So relaxin is a relax. It will help in relaxing the symphysis pubis. I think you are getting what is symphysis pubis. If it is my hip bone, both of the hip bone in front are connected with some portions, which is a joint that is called symphysis pubis joint. And this symphysis pubis joint is basically one special type of joint which is called fibrocartilaginous joint, exactly like our intervertebral disc. Why I'm mentioning in this way? Because these are again another MCQ that we will again talk later. So if this is symphysis pubis joint, and it will expand in this way and the baby will come out. Okay. So this is the functions of the relaxin. Relaxin will help in relaxing. Relaxin helps in relaxing the symphysis pubis joint. Okay. So that the passage will increase and the baby can come out. Okay. Are you getting my point? So these are the most important points. But one more thing that you have to definitely remember from the placenta, okay. Second is that, can you tell me, this is not directly related to the MCQs from the placenta, but it is mentioned in NCERT. That's why I think you should know it well. Can you name some hormone? Name some hormone which is increased physiologically. I mean, suppose you already have thyroxine in your body, but when a lady gets pregnant, the level of the thyroxine is increased. The reason, why the reason? The reason is that when the lady is non-pregnant, the demand of the thyroxine hormone is less because it is only shared by the mother, I mean the lady. But when the lady is pregnant, the same thyroxine hormone will be shared by the fetus, by the baby. So you have to remember that this is very, very important, that thyroxine. So there are a few other hormones, like write it down, few other hormones like T3, T4, I mean thyroxine hormone, okay, like prolactin hormone, and another one is cortisol hormone. So I know these are not released by the placenta, rather they are released from different glands. I think you know thyroxine is released by the thyroid gland, prolactin is released by the anterior pituitary some cells that is called acidophil cell. I think you know acidophil cell release only two hormone, growth hormone and prolactin. Other remaining hormone, they are released from the basophil cell of anterior pituitary. So this is acidophil cell of anterior pituitary, which will release the prolactin hormone, or it is also known as LTH, lactotrophic hormone. So prolactin, lactotrophic hormone, they are released from the acidophil cell. It's very, very important. And they will also increase in the blood level, because that will help in supporting the growth of the baby. Because you know prolactin is something which is actually helping in the lactopoiesis or galactopoiesis, in the milk productions. Okay, so that will be also increased in the blood level of a pregnant lady. In the blood level of a pregnant lady, these hormones will also go increase. That is prolactin, lactotrophic hormone, T3, T4, cortisol. So these all three are very, very important. Okay, so and you know what is the source of cortisol? I think you already know. It is an adrenal gland, which is actually a gland which is situated above the kidney. And in the adrenal gland, there is something which is actually called adrenal cortex. Even in the adrenal cortex, there are few important sublayers are there, and that sublayers are zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. And you know, in the GF, F means zona fasciculata. From the layer zona fasciculata, please remember this cortisol will be released. Why I'm mentioning right now? Because you have to know the biology in an integrated fashions, because the question that will come in your NEET exams will be integrated questions. Each and individual question is not a question from a single chapter. Rather, when we are framing a question, we will check your concept on basis of your integrating capacity of 2 chapters. So remember, the cortisol is released from a layer, sublayers of adrenal cortex, and that is called ZF, I mean zona fasciculata. It's a very, very important. So as you are finding, I have already mentioned the cell. I have already mentioned the source of these hormones, which are increased in the pregnancy time. So they are not released from the placenta. So write it down. They are not released from the placenta. They are not released from the placenta. But still you will find the placenta, but you will find the high level of cortisol, high level of T3, T4, and high level of these hormones, prolactins, which is actually also known as LTH, during the pregnancy time. Okay, this is written in NCERT and it's very, very important. Are you getting my points? Are you getting my points? Okay, clear,
Yes,
everyone?
sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's extremely important. Okay. Okay. So the next thing that you have to remember, what is actually, now you will perform from NCERT surgery, which will help us to understand each and every line. Okay, I will mention a little bit more in inner cell mass, because inner cell mass is also important here. Okay, and I have discussed the concept of blastomeres. Yes or no? Please tell me, what is blastomeres? Can you tell me what is the blastomere? So write down this first concept. What is blastomere? What is blastocyst? And what is blastopore? These all three are MCQ, and we'll write only the important MCQ point. Write down the blastomere first appear. Second point is that the function. Okay, we'll only mention these two, and it will help us a lot to find out the actual answer. Okay. Okay. So first, the important point. Can you tell me the blastomere appears first at which time? Can you tell me? The blastomere appears first.
Morula.
Yeah, absolutely correct answer. It is morula. So don't think that that blastomere means it should appear at blastula. No, even it is appearing in the morula. Now the question is, what is blastomere? Blastomere is each cell of an embryo. Each cell of an embryo. Suppose this is a zygote cell. When it is dividing into two now by the method of cleavage, okay, so you are getting two blastomeres, and this is morula stage. So even in the morula, blastomere is present. Now you tell me that what is blastocyst? Blastocyst is the structure when you are getting like this. there is an outside cover like which is actually known as trophoblast, and in the inside there is something which is present as a mass that is called inner cell mass, and in between them some fluid layer is waiting for you like this, and this cystic structure, because it is a free space, the yellow is actually free space, nothing is there, it's a hollow space, which is it's a blank space. So you have to remember these things, that it's a very, very important that blastocyst, if you know the blastocyst, you have to remember there are some cystic spaces which is actually yellow in color. So what is blastocyst? So can you tell me this stage? So blastocyst appear only in blastula. So this is blastula where you will get the blastocyst only. And the function of the blastocyst is that this is the stage where you will find implantation, not before that. So implantation is only possible after the stage of after the stage of blastocyst. And when you will get blastomere, the another important function, the blastomere we can get after cleavage. So blastomere we can get after first cleavage. It will appear after the first cleavage division. After the first cleavage division, it will appear. Are you getting my point? After first cleavage division, it will appear. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After the first cleavage division, it will appear. And this is modula, this is blastula. Can you tell me the MCQs from the blastopore? This is a question. It's a very, very important question. Blastopore is something which is actually, pore means opening. So if you see the body of a fetus, you will find there's some opening like this. Okay, this is the body, suppose, and this opening is called blastopores. Actually, this opening can form either mouth, and this opening can form or anus. You don't know for you which one is formed first. Anus. For we, the human being, anus is formed first, mouth is formed later, and that's why we are known as deuterostomes. That I will teach again in the animal kingdom. But only remember, this is the blastopore, and this blastopore will appear not in the blastula, rather it will appear in the gastrula morphogenesis. So it will appear in gastrula morphogenesis. I mean, in the stage of gastrula, you will get this pore, which is called blastopore. And what is the function? The function is that this pore will form something mouth or anus. So whatever I have written on the chart, each and every line and points are MCQ. Please remember these things. Okay, you need not to remember MCQs from the gastrula stage, but you should at least remember this information, that what is blastopore, because this is equally important in your animal kingdom. That's why they might ask this question. Okay, so the next thing that you have to remember right now, one more thing I want to tell right now, what are the organ development at different stages? I mean, suppose, okay, that's next one thing I want to say. Suppose this is the, can you tell me, suppose this is the, I'm not mentioning the gastrulation, okay? So I am just mentioning whatever is written in NCERT. Okay, so this is because all the MCQs will come only from NCERT, not beyond it. So why? So there is no point of discussion any MCQs beyond NCERT. So this is like, I think you know, this is the inner cell mass. Are you getting my point? This is the inner cell mass. I mean, whatever will be the structures of the baby that will be formed from only here, only from here. Then what is the functions of this outer layer? One function is nutrition. It will collect the nutrition from outside. Okay. It will collect the nutrition from the outside. Second function is that it will exchange the oxygen and carbon dioxide with the mother. So these are only two functions you have to remember from the outer layer, which is actually called trophoblast. Tropho means nutrition. I think everyone knows. So the name of the layer itself telling that I will collect nutritions, because this is trophoblast. Blast means cells. So this cell will collect nutritions from the mother, oxygen from the mother. So that's why it is called trophoblast layer. And not only that, it will also help in implantations and anchoring. I mean, there are, I think you know, there are some sub modifications of this trophoblast layer, which is actually known as in situ trophoblast, and that actually helps in direct anchoring of the fetus with the endometrium of the mother. So these are two important MCQ points. But right now I will say each and every MCQ from inner cell mass. So inner cell mass is the actual part from where you will get first, you will get something which is actually known as embryo. Okay. And first you have to remember, I think I should say in this way, the inner cell mass, this is the inner cell mass. It's a very, very important. This inner cell mass will form something which is actually, you know, right now I think you are finding inner cell mass, it is nothing but aggregations of many cells. Whatever you are finding in the inner cell mass in the picture is nothing but the aggregations of a lot of cells. But at certain point of time, which is actually gastrula known as, so just you can also write at gastrula stage. At gastrula stage, what will happen? You know, all these red colored cells now, they will be arranged in 3 layers. Okay, so I'm just erasing these things right now, and I'm just drawing that in the stage of gastrula, what you will find is all the red color cells, they will be arranged in 3 layers. Okay, I'm not mentioning in details, I'm just mentioning the concept, the 3 layers. And for the 3 layers, you know, the upper and the lower layers will be formed first. You know, this upper layers is known as actually ectoderm, and the lower layers are actually known as endoderm. Okay, and you have to suppose this will be, suppose all the cells are arranged in this way and they're forming endoderm and they're forming, suppose, the ectoderm. You have to remember at last the jelly will come in the bread. I think if you want to make a butter toast, what you will take first? You will take the bread first, on bread on the either side. So it's important. So ectoderm and endoderm will be formed first. This is MCQ actually. And last to form, which one is last to form in the germ layers is called mesoderm. So what we are finding, all the cells of the inner cell mass, they are actually getting arranged in endo and meso. Why I used to mention always in this way? Because this is the order of formation. Endo. Actually, ecto and endo is forming simultaneously. Meso is forming last. So ecto, meso, endo, this is according to the arrangement, and ecto, endo, meso is according to the order of formations. And this is MCQ actually, that meso is forming last. Okay, and that's why I think you can correlate in this way. If you are able to remember diploblastic and triploblastic concept of animal kingdom, do you think in the diploblastic, what are the layers you are finding in the diploblastic? Ecto-meso or ecto-endo? You are finding only ecto and endo in the diploblastic stages of the animal. You are not finding meso. Why? Because meso is something which is more developed character. Meso is something which is more advanced character. That's why we in the animals of diplo, the meso is lacking. I mean, the mesoderm is lacking. What you will get only in the triploblastic stages of the animal. So the take-home message is that mesoderm is formed last. It is present only in advanced stage, and it is only present in triploblastic stage. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is very, 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 very important. Okay. The next thing that I want to say right now, and these germ layers, I mean, ecto, endo, meso, you can only get in the stage of gastrula, or you can also mention, you can get these things only in the 3rd week of pregnancy. 3rd week. What is 3rd week? Suppose today the fertilization has occurred. Suppose the male gamete and the female gamete are fused today. So from today, we will calculate the day 1. If you want to calculate the IUL, what is IUL? IUL is a gestation period or intrauterine life. IUL is called intrauterine life or gestational period. So 3rd week means 3rd week IUL. I mean, that is from the day of fusions of male gamete and the female gamete. What I want to tell right now, that at the stage of the gastrula, I mean, at least after 3rd week, you will get all the inner cell mass. They have arranged properly in 3 layers, and all our body organs. It might be your hair, it might be your teeth, it might be your liver, it might be your kidney, whatever be your organ, it has to be formed only and only by these layers. By these layers. So all organs. So all organs, please mark it, all organs will develop from here. All organs will develop from here. Are you getting my point? So all organs will develop from here. Any organ will develop from here. So what is the take-home message is that if anyone is saying that inner cell mass, okay, do you know the concept of stem cell? Who knows the concept of the stem cell? The stem cell, write down. This is the NCERT words. That's why you have to mention this MCQ. The stem, yeah, not totipotent cell. This is something I want to tell right now. Yeah, it is pluripotent. It is not totipotent, because zygote, write down another MCQ. Your friends has already invited another new questions, and that is actually NCERT question. So this is another important. Let me write. This is zygote. If you are mentioning it's zygote, zygote is a totipotent cell, because all of your body, starting from your hair to nail, everything is formed from zygote. So definitely it is known as totipotent cell. Okay, totipotent cell. But if you consider the inner cell mass, I mean the blastula stage, and these are actually, so if anyone is considering the bone marrow, suppose, or you are considering like the bone marrow, suppose we are considering the bone marrow. Okay, from the bone marrow we can only assure that yes, from bone marrow all three cell, I mean platelet, WBCs and RBCs will be formed. I mean one particular category of the tissue will be formed from the bone marrow, but all the cells, I mean platelet, WBC, RBC, all can be formed from the bone marrow. So these are called pluripotent. These are called pluripotent. They have potency to form multiple tissues or multiple cells, but they cannot form anything. So this is called pluripotent. Pleuro. Pluripotent. So these are called pluripotent. So pluripotent means, pluro means actually different. Pluro means different. I mean pleuro means something which is called various. It's a various. The meaning of pluro is various. So its potency is various, but its potency is not total. The total is the potency of only zygote. Bone marrow can form many type of cells, but cannot form anything. Okay, cannot form everything. The cell which can form everything is the zygote. That's why it's called totipotent. The bone marrow is called pluripotent. Now the question is, what is stem cell? Stem cell is, again, the concept is that this stem cell can form any cell, not any cell, it can form many cells. So again, the stem cell will something, it is again pluripotent. But my take home is that, can you tell me these stem cells are present in inner cell mass or trophoblast layer? Tell me this question, because this is the previous year NEET question. Stem cell is present in inner cell mass or stem cell is present in trophoblast? Tell me.
Inner cell mass.
Absolutely correct answer. This is inner cell mass, because in the inner cell mass, all the cells which will going to form future baby or future embryo, that is present in the inner cell mass. All the cells which are going to form the future embryo is present. So you have to remember this inner cell mass is very, 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 very important. Okay, that is something you have to remember, this inner cell mass. Okay, this is inner cell mass where you will find the stem cell. That is the question. The stem cell will be present in inner cell mass. Okay, so we have discussed actually every single questions we have discussed right now. Right now we have to remember what is the development of the fetus. Okay, so the first thing you have to remember, write down the calendar. Write down this is the calendar. I mean the calendar of development. This is actually I have given this name, the calendar of development. That will help you to remember. It will make the topic more interesting actually. So the calendar of development, suppose this is the day one. I mean the day one is suppose this is the one. Suppose this is the male gamete. This is the female gamete that will fuse, and that is called syngamy. And something, it is also known as fertilization. So day one is syngamy, or something is called fertilization. It's a very, 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 very important. And this is the day one. It is day one. Now the question is that after what changes are you expecting after day 7? I'm not okay. Just I'm mentioning. Can you tell me at the day one you have only how many cells you have? Please tell me. Only one cell. As you know, in the day 2 there will be 2 to the power 1 cell. I mean 2 cells. In the day 3 you already know there are 8 cells. Are you getting my points now? I have already mentioned that concept. 8 cells, and I mean at the day 3. You are still you are still where? Still you are in the fallopian tube. The developmental, I mean from here the cleavage actually, I am just summarizing all the MCQ. From the day 1, the cleavage cell division has been already started. And the product of the cleavage cell divisions, they are right now, they are modular and they haven't descent right now in the uterine cavity. Rather, they are present in the fallopian tube till now. But when they will become 2 to the power 4 on the day 4, I mean 16 cell stage, it has to come, definitely it has to come into the uterine cavity. Otherwise, It will cause some disease that is called ectopic pregnancy. That pregnancy will be the fallopian tube pregnancy, and the tube pregnancy is very dangerous because it will damage, it will burst the tube, and there will be severe hemorrhage in the mother's body. So this is something in the day 4, 16 cell you can expect, and it has to come into the uterine cavity. And you already know, can you expect some, can you tell me on the day 5 what will happen? You will have something. Right now the number of the cell in the day 5 will be implantations, and at that time the cell which is almost that is 2 to the power 5, actually is 32, but still you can consider the cell number will not go in this same, it's such a easy calculation. Rather you can consider the cell number will be like 64 to 100 cells in the 5th day when it is implanting. So it's very, very important. So you can also consider 1 to 128, I mean 2 to the power 6 to 2 to the power 7. So we can consider 5 on 6 and 7 day. I mean in the day 5, day 6 and the day 7, we can expect the implantations. And this is a very important calendar event that you have to remember. This is the implantations, because this implantation is something which will help in releasing the HCG and help in detecting the pregnancies. Okay, so these are detecting the pregnancy by urine test, detecting the pregnancy in urine test. Okay, so these are all are very, 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 very important. These all stages are very, very important. Okay. All right. The next thing that you have to remember, so we have finished up to the 7th day. I mean the first week incidents we have covered. Right now we are studying what will happen from the day 8, day 9, day 10, and so on. But we need not to remember, need not to tell everything. What we have to remember, what will be the changes at the day 14, which is again very important. At the day 14, please remember what will happen that at the day 14. At the day 14, I mean the 2nd week. So we used to remember right now in the week, because I mean 2nd week. On the 2nd week, the first thing is that the 2nd week. So suppose, what is the 2nd week? 2nd week means you have already elapsed 14 days. You have already elapsed 14 days. Okay. Suppose you have already elapsed 14 days. Now this is a very important concept. Suppose this is the menstrual cycle of the lady. Where is the ovulation day? On the day 14. Okay. You tell me, suppose the lady has performed the sexual act at the day of, suppose you might consider at the day of, suppose like this, like suppose at the day of 7, suppose. So on the day 7, suppose the sperm entered in the body and 14 days has already elapsed. I mean that is almost at the 21 days. Okay, almost at the 21 days. So what changes you can expect on the 2nd, and that is something, you know, the HCG level will increase and there will be a little bit vomiting tendencies and like these things. But for your the 2nd to 3rd week is important only to find out if you have already elapsed. 3rd week means 21 days. 21 days you have already elapsed, and after 21 days there will be missed period. The periods will be missed. I mean you can already consider the 7 and 21. I mean 28 is already covered, and you can get, and you are expecting that I should have some menstruations, I should have some bleeding in this cycle, but I'm not getting this. Why? Because you are going to miss this pregnancy. You are going to miss this period. Why? Because HCG is already there, and this HCG is maintaining the corpus luteum, and it is maintaining the estrogen and progesterone. There will be no drop of estrogen and progesterone, so there will be no bleeding phase. So why the 2nd and the 3rd week is important? Because only after the 2nd and the 3rd week, a lady can only feel, a lady can only appreciate, a lady can only think about this. Yes, that might be a reason of my pregnancy that I am missing this period. So the missed period will be after 3rd week. Now, what is the importance of the 4th week? The 4th week is important for the baby. Okay, one more thing which is important at the 3rd week. Number one, the 3rd week, you can remember in this way. So 3rd week, 3 and 3. That means 3 layers. I mean, at the 3rd week, the gastrula is already started. So at the 3rd week, the gastrula changes. The gastrula development has already started. I haven't mentioned the details of the gastrulation changes, because it is not in your syllabus, but at least you have to know the name and the few important MCQs. The first MCQ from the gastrula: when cleavage division will stop? The cleavage division will stop at gastrula. It will start since beginning from the formations of the zygote, but it will stop when the development of the fetus is entering the gastrulation phase. Okay. The second MCQ of the third week. So we have mentioned only one MCQ from the gastrulation phase. Second, can you tell me in the third week, 3 germ layers are there. In the third week, how many germ layers are there? 3 germ layers are there: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. In the third week, 3 germ layers are there. And next question: in the third week, the fetus is going to form brain, which is the first organ in human body. So first organ in the human body is brain, which is going to form at third week. So these are the importance of the third week. The third week, 3 germ layers you will get: ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Before third week, you will not get all 3 germ layers. So at third week, what you will get: number 1, you will miss the period, number 1. Number 2, 3 germ layers you will get. And number 3, the first organ of human being, that is the brain, you will get. Okay. And the fourth week, what is the importance of the fourth week? The fourth week, this organ of the fetus will be formed, that is the heart. So heart is formed at fourth week, and and the heart week is formed in the fourth week. Okay. So if you find in your question paper which is the first organ to form, if the brain is there, mark brain. But if in the option brain is not there, then you have to mark heart. Second, and okay, the second, what we'll find in the fifth week. The fifth week is that though I know the heart is forming at the fourth week, but you can listen the sound of the fetal heart. If you put a stetho on the mother's abdomen, suppose this is the mother's abdomen. Suppose this is the mother's abdomen. Suppose this is the level of the uterus. And suppose this is the fetus, which is lying like this. So if you put a stetho here, so you can listen the sounds of the fetal heart. Okay, and that is possible only at the fifth week. This is called fetal heart sound, FHS. So fetal heart sound is the first sign of live pregnancy. First sign of live pregnancy. First sign of live pregnancy. Okay, it is the first sign of live pregnancy. It's a very important question. It is the first sign of live pregnancy. It is written in NCERT, and it is a sign. What is the sign? The sign is something which you are experiencing with the patient. What is symptom? The patient is telling something. Patient is telling, I have pain. You cannot see the pain. That is called symptom. What is sign? The sign is what you are actually appreciating by experimenting on the patient. So on patient, if you are putting a stetho, you can hear the sound. That's why it is sign. It's not a symptom, and that is the first sign of a live pregnancy. Okay, this is a viable pregnancy. Live or viable pregnancy. Viable means live. I mean, the fetus is not dead. Okay. The second, this is the importance of the fifth week, that we are able to listen the sound at the fifth week, though the heart is formed in the fourth week. Next MCQ on the 8th week, not before that. Only remember the 8th week. I am just discussing according to the NCERT. On the 8th week, you have to remember, draw this. If you draw this, you can remember even in the exam. So that's why I'm drawing. The limbs are formed in the 8th week. The digits are formed in the 8th week. This is something you have to remember. So limbs and digits are formed in 8 weeks. Okay. This is something you have to remember. Are you getting my points? Okay. And I am discussing on point of week. They might give you second month. Second month means this. Second month. So 8 week means 7 months. So I used to remember by the help of week. So try to remember in name of week. That will help you a lot. Okay, because in every week some changes will occur in the fetal body. So better to remember in according to the week, not according to the month. You can already calculate dividing by 4 that this is the month. So, and the next MCQ is that after this second month or 8 or 9, actually basically we used to tell that if we are telling a month, then this is 2 months. If you are mentioning according to the week, we are mentioning actually the 9th week. So please remember, before less than 9th week and more than 9th week. Remember, less than 9 week, the product of conception is known as embryo. Okay, embryo. Okay, but after 9th week, it is known as fetus. This is the difference of fetus and embryo. That this is nothing but the difference of age. like what is children and what is what is adult, what is puberty, what is middle aged. So remember these things before 2 month or 9 month. I mean, oh sorry, before 2 month and 9th week, same. So before 2 month or 9th week, this is actually by definition. I know it should be actually 2 month or 8 week, but for definition, you can remember in this way: 2 month or 9, sorry, 2 month or 9 week. Before this time, this is embryo. After this time, it is fetus. And next we have to discuss. So now whatever, so right now, whatever we have discussed till now, it is the changes in the embryo or changes in the fetus. These are changes in embryo or these are changes in fetus. Who can tell me? Right now, anything we have discussed is changes in fetus or changes in embryo. Who can tell me?
Embryo.
Embryo.
Yeah, this is changes in embryo. But right now, whatever we will discuss, that will be the change of fetus. So the next is the MCQ from the 12th week. 12th week is very, very important because, you know, in the NCERT, it is already mentioned. The 12th week, the first is the placenta is fully matured here. I mean, the placenta is fully formed. This is the first thing that you have to remember in the 12th week. The second point is all the major organs are formed here. I mean, starting from the liver and all the important stomach, all the major organs are formed in the 12th week. Are you getting my points? I think. Okay. Now you will tell me what is next important on the 20th week. Okay. What is important in the 20th week? The 20th week is important because this is the time when the fetus first moves. So this is the fetus first moves. Okay. At least actually the answer is 18th week, but as NCERT has mentioned 20th, that's why I'm telling. So 20th week or I think 5 months, sorry. So 20th week or 5 months, the fetus is moving right now. Okay, the fetus can move right now. This is important. Right now, the fetus can move. Okay, and the 20th week, another importance is that at the 20th week, the first hair will appear in the fetal body. The hair will appear in the fetal body mainly on the head. So the hair will appear in the fetal head. That is another important MCQ from NCERT on this. The second is the 28th week. You have to remember, which is actually almost your 7th month, almost six month, 3rd week or 7th month. On the 20th week, what you will find in the 20th week, all the fetal body is covered by hairs. The fetus will even have some eyelids. All the minor hairs means like eyelid, the skin hairs, these are all already present. So eyelids are there. I mean, eyelash are also there. Lids are also there. This is called lids, upper lids and lower lids. On the lids, there are lashes. So eyelids and eyelashes are there. Okay. Importantly, another important is that all the body will be covered by small hairs. Okay, so all fine hairs will cover the body in the 28th week. Okay, and can you tell me when the baby is going to be delivered out? At the month of, this is actually 9 months, or you can consider like 37 week. Okay, or in between 37 to 40th week, the baby is supposed to deliver out, and that is called parturition. So at 37th week to in between 37th week or 40th week, the baby is supposed to deliver, and that is called parturitions or delivery. Are you getting my points? Okay, next we are coming back to the NCERT surgery. It will help you a lot. I have discussed each and every point. So just for your quick review, so that you need not to read NCERT by your own. That is the finger-like projections appear on the trophoblast, chorionic villi. I have already discussed. The uterine tissue become interdigited with each other and jointly the structural functional unit, which is called placenta. Okay, one thing I want to mention, the concept of decidua. So write it down. It is not mentioned in NCERT, but I think it's very, very important. What is the decidua? Follow this thing. Suppose this is the mother's endometrium. Suppose this is the suppose like this. Okay, suppose this is the chorionic villi. This is the a cytotrophoblast, and this is suppose that this is the your inner cell mass. What you have to think about, that like this is, can you tell me what is this actually? Can you tell me this black colored thing? This black colored thing is nothing but endometrium. This black colored thing is nothing but endometrium. I think you know. But what is my take home message? What I am trying to tell, the endometrium during the time of pregnancy, it will also get changed. It will modify. It will help in covering the fetus as well. And this changed endometrial cells are known as decidua. So what is decidua? Decidua is modified endometrium. Modified endometrium is called decidua. I know there are 3 different types of decidua, but that is not needed for you. You just know this name, that something is decidua is there, and that decidua is nothing but the modified endometrium, which is actually modified during pregnancy from a non-pregnancy state. In a non-pregnancy state, it is called endometrium, but after pregnancy, it is called the endometrium will change, and that is something called modified endometrium or decidua. It's very, very important. And what I want to tell right now, you can easily get that this decidua and the fetal membrane, I mean, syncytial trophoblast, they are interdigited. They are interdigited. I mean, suppose this is the decidua, suppose this is the decidua, suppose this is the decidua, and this is like the syncytial trophoblast. They are actually interdigitating interdigitating to form some structure which is actually known as placenta. Okay, so it is interdigitating. It is interdigitating to form a structure. It is to form something which is called implantations. It is called implantation. So interdigitating is called implantations in between the syncytial trophoblast and mother's decidua. So mother's decidua and fetal syncytial trophoblast, they are interdigitating, and that will help in formations, that will help in performing implantations. Okay. Okay, so I have already discussed all the hormones and what is the role of those hormones. Like what is the role of, I have already discussed what is the role of HCG, I have already discussed. What is the role of HPL, I have already discussed. What is the role of estrogen, progesterone, relaxin, everything I have discussed already. And I have also mentioned this fact that though I know these hormones like cortisols, like prolactins, like thyroxines, they are not directly released from the body, but directly from the placenta, but they are also increasing due to the pregnancy, because due to support the fetal growth, So this is very, 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 very important. Can you tell me, actually in a previous year, this diagram was given in the black and white fashion. Who can tell me this diagram? All the pointings are very important. All the pointings are very, very important here. Can you tell me what is this? Actually, you have to remember this is something is called the embryo. This is something is called embryo. And as I have already mentioned, that from the umbilical area, there is something which will going to be connected with the placenta. It's called umbilical cord. That you already know. Can you tell me what is this structure? This structure is something is called chorionic villi. This is chorionic. Why this is chorionic? Because these are arising from the fetal membrane. This is not a contribution from the maternal membrane. Actually, no maternal membrane is present in case of human beings. That's why human beings, in the other side of the mother, there is only blood. On the other side of the mother, there is only blood, no membrane. So any villi which is appearing here, that is the product of the fetus. That's why it is called the fetal membrane. It is a product of the fetal membrane. That's why it is called chorionic villi. So this pointing is very, very important. In NEET 2017 or 16, this question has already set that this is a placental villi. Okay, can you tell me this red color portion? You know what happens in your exam? This is a completely black and white diagram in your exam. So you people are getting confused that what is this red colored portions that will be black in the exams. Please remember that suppose this is the thickness of the wall. This is the wall thickness of the uterine cavity, which inside the wall thickness, whatever you are getting, that is a free space. I mean, it is the uterine cavity. Okay, so inside the wall thickness, whatever you are getting, that is actually free space. I mean, that is a uterine cavity. Okay, free space means what I'm telling you, it is a blank space. It's not a wall, it's like a space, not free space, it's a space. And that space is actually nothing but it's a uterine cavity, and you have to mark it in the exam. Okay, it is very, very important that it is a uterine cavity. Okay, I think you are getting this. Okay, one more thing I want to tell right now. I know NCERT haven't mentioned anything about the yolk sac, but they have marked it on the diagram. So that's why if NCERT is planning to ask any question on the yolk sac, they will only ask this question, that what is this structure which what you are getting from this umbilical cord and like this. So just mark it. This is a yolk sac. What are the importance of the yolk sac? The yolk sac is made up of something which is called yolk, and yolk is nothing but the lecithin. And this yolk sac performs many roles. One of the role is that at certain stage of embryonic development, they also helps in formations of blood. Just remember these things. I'm not mentioning in details about the yolk sac because it is not needed for you. Just remember these things. Yolk sac is attached with the umbilical cord. With the umbilical cord, it is attached, and this yolk sac helps in blood. And at certain time, this time is almost 3 months to 5 months. That is not needed for you. Just remember, they are helping in formations of blood at certain stage. And the yolk sac are made up of a lipid. That lipid is called lecithin. And if you are able to remember, in the biomolecules chapter, I have detailed discussions. I had a detailed discussions on lecithin. Are you able to recall? Are you able to recall that I have discussed many more MCQs from lecithin? The first MCQs, the lipid which is present in the cell membrane. What it is? It's a phospholipid, and especially it is called lecithin. Number one MCQ I have discussed. Second MCQ I have discussed, suppose this is a lung alveoli. In the inside the lung alveoli, there is something which is actually known as surfactant, and that surfactant are made up of something called dipalmityl phosphatidylcholine, and it is another and phosphatidylcholine is another name of lecithin. So this is another importance of the lecithin in us, and that is the 2 point you have to remember from NCERT because they have mentioned it in their book. Next important point is that this is the embryo, you have to mark it, and this is the umbilical cord with its vessels. Next question is that in year 2016 in the AIIMS exam, they asked that questions that in the umbilical cord, how many arteries are there and how many veins are there? How many arteries are there and how many veins are there? Okay, that is something you have to remember. How many arteries are there and how many veins are there? Yes, this is very important. There are 2 arteries. Please remember, there are 2 arteries in the umbilical. There are 2 umbilical arteries and 1 umbilical vein. How to remember, sir? We might be confused just immediately after the class. No, I can promise you if you remember this technique. Okay, now you tell me, if you are sending blood, just follow. Put your pen down and follow me. Put your pen down and follow me. Suppose this is the pathway. Suppose there is one. You already know. So I think this is suppose the umbilical cord. You know you have to send blood to the mother. You have to receive blood from the mother. You already know this. But the question is that the sending and receiving has to be same and same. I mean, if your sending system is carrying, suppose 2 liters of the blood, suppose your receiving side should also, your receiving vessel, pipeline system should also receive 2 liters of the blood. Are you getting my point now, what I'm telling? If your sending system is sending X volume of the blood, your receiving system should also receive the X volume of the blood. Now you tell me, what is your sending system? Suppose you are fetus. Suppose you are fetus. By which vein or artery you will send something to your mother? You tell me. You tell me. Yes, this is artery. This is the fetal heart. This is the fetal heart. From the fetal heart, we will send, as you know, any structure arising from the heart, it should be known as artery, and this is called umbilical artery. Now, can you tell me umbilical artery is carrying oxygenated blood or carbon dioxide, I mean CO2 blood? Can you tell
CO2
me?
blood.
Yes, it is CO2 blood. So that's why you have to remember in your MCQs, not only the pulmonary artery, but also the umbilical artery, which is carrying deoxygenated blood. And both of the purpose is that to get purified. Pulmonary artery is sending to get, pulmonary artery is carrying impure blood because they want to get purified. In the same way, umbilical artery is sending deoxygenated blood, because they also want to get purified. Okay. And now you tell me what is the size of the lumen of the artery? Is it small or large? Small. And now you said, so by this you are sending. So I'm just considering right now the receiving system. Suppose this is the receiving system to the heart, and you know this is the umbilical vein. And and suppose this is the umbilical vein. Your mother has sent the blood to your heart, so definitely it will be good enough, and it is oxygenated blood. And I mean a vein containing oxygenated blood is umbilical vein, along with pulmonary vein in your body, which you already know. Now you tell me, what is the size of the lumen in pulmonary vein? What is the size of lumen in the pulmonary vein? Small or large?
Large.
Because it is a vein. I mean, in the umbilical vein, obviously, as it is a vein, the lumen should be large enough. The diameter, the lumen should be large enough. So what is the take-home message? The take-home message is that very, 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 very important. Suppose this is the small enough. Okay, suppose this is the size of the lumen. This is the size of the vein. So your vein can hold a huge blood. So to receive the same, you are receiving this blood. To send the same amount of the blood, you should have one artery or two artery. You should have one artery or two artery.
Two.
You tell me. You should have one artery or two artery.
Two artery.
Yeah, you should have two artery. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. That you should have two artery. Are you getting my points? Are you getting my points?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in umbilical cord, you have to remember there are two arteries and one vein. Okay. And after this, I think you will not forget the concept. Okay. The next thing we have to right now focus mainly on the topic, which is called gestational period. Actually, I have discussed each and everything. You already know this, that this is what is ectoderm, what is endoderm, what is mesoderm, what is stem cell is present where. Now, what is the, what is the gestational phase? Write it down. I think what is gestation? Gestation is the time period from the day, from the formations of the zygote to the time of delivery. This whole time is called gestational phase. And so it is also known as IUL, I mean intrauterine life. And the durations, the length of the intrauterine life is 9 months. I have already discussed. You can also consider it might be 37 to 40th week. This is a normal gestational time period. And for your better understanding, we have divided the gestational phase into the trimester. I mean, after almost grossly after 3 months, we have divided the 9 months into 3 and 3 and 3, but not exactly this. But grossly, you can tell at least this is also divided into 3 trimester. Like semester is 2 times, trimester is 3 times. So 9 months is divided into 3 half trimester. So first trimester means first 3 months. So placenta is formed at the end of first trimester. That is my one MCQ. So whenever you are finding trimester wala MCQ, then you have to be sure that trimester means like first trimester, first 3 months, second trimester, second 3 months, third trimester is third 3 months. Okay, this is the gross definition you have to remember. Okay, and can you tell me what is the gestational phase for the dogs and the elephants and the cats? Yes, it is actually different for everyone. So for elephants, it can be years and years. Okay, for elephants, the gestational phase is very, 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 very long. That is something you have to remember. Okay, the next thing you have to remember right now, again, it's very important. Okay, I think you already know, I have already discussed these points that after the 1 month, I mean, after the 4th week, what is the first organ to form? That is the heart. So what is the first sign of pregnancy, live pregnancy? Is the fetal heart sound by the stethoscope that I have already discussed. Just right now, I'm performing NCRT surgery for you. I have already discussed it in details. Yes. Can you tell me what you will get in the 2nd month? I mean, 8th week that I have already discussed. That is we will get limbs and the digit. I have also drawn that on the screen. Okay. And 3rd is by the end of the 1st trimester. I mean, which is actually that 12th weeks. All the major organs have already been formed. Even your genital organs, I mean, the testes, the ovary has already been developed by the 12th weeks. That you should also mention. Yeah. The second is that, you know, on the 20th week, on the 20th week, you will find something. Fifth month means 20th week. That is the fetal movement, first fetal movement. Okay. And the hair on the head, scalp hairs are okay. What we'll get? Okay. I haven't mentioned this 24th week. You can remember these things. So whatever I have mentioned in the 28th week, please mark it as a 24 weeks. I'm very sorry, sir. Whatever I have marked and 28 weeks, please mark it on the 24th week, that the hairs on all over the body, fine hairs, eyelid separates, eyelashes. Okay, just mark it that. Okay, so whatever. So have you changed that? Have you changed that? 28 from 28, mark it 24. Extremely sorry for this mistake. This is 24. Have you changed that? That this is 24?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So in the 24, you will get everything. You just remember, 28 is not a MCQ answer for NCERT. Just remember this thing. Okay. Okay. The next thing, the parturition. Right now, I will mention few important MCQ from the parturition. Follow me. Let me first draw on the screen, white screen. Then I will tell this. So suppose what is important here, suppose this is like this. Okay, all right, like this and like this and like this and like this and these and these. You already know that this is the baby right now who is waiting to get delivered. And what is the first thing you have to remember? Where you will get the signal of parturition. This is an age-old MCQ, but I have to tell as a part of teaching. That's why I'm telling the signal for parturition. But I mean this is the time when we'll think that this is the time for delivery. Yes, the time for delivery has arrived. When I will tell that? Well, I will tell that when you will find the fetus is mature and placenta is developed. So when the fetus is matured, placenta is developed, then you will find that yes, this is the time. This is called signal of parturition. Signal of parturition. Parturition means delivery. Okay, so signal of parturition is coming from which structure? Not from the brain. It is coming from the fully developed fetus and placenta. So placenta and fully developed fetus is giving the signal of parturition. That's MCQ number 1. MCQ number 2, which is again very important, is that, okay. The second thing, what you have to think about first, do you know the membrane which is covering the fetus? Who can tell me? What is the name of the membrane which is covering the fetus? Who can tell me? This is called amnion or amniotic membrane. So you have to remember this is called amnion or amniotic membrane. And second thing you have to remember, there are some fluids. That fluids are actually covering the fetus like this and these. So this is actually called amniotic fluids. Can you tell me what is the functions of amniotic fluid? Who can tell me the functions of the amniotic fluid? The functions of amniotic fluid is shock absorbing and preventing fetal desiccation. I mean, the fetal might be get dried. If you are not providing water around the fetus, your fetus will get dry. So this is now two functions of the amniotic fluid. Number 1, shock absorb. And number 2 function is that prevent drying. And that is actually in the better language, it is called prevent desiccation. We'll also use this term desiccations in our botany chapter. Desiccation means drying. Like in the botany, cuticle prevents the desiccations. Here also, this fetal membrane is preventing desiccation. Okay. They are preventing desiccation. Are you getting my points? So they are preventing desiccation. Okay. Double S, I think. Yes. So this is desiccation. They will prevent the desiccation. So prevent desiccation, write down prevent. Must add this word prevent, otherwise you might be confused. They will not do desiccation. They will prevent desiccation. They will prevent drying. So desiccation means drying. So shock absorptions and desiccation is the functions of amniotic cavity. Why I have introduced this concept? I have introduced this concept because for understanding the stages of parturition or the delivery, you should know the amnion and amniotic fluids are present surrounding it. So directly straight away we are going to something that so what are the stages? The first stage is that signal of parturition has already been arrived from the developed fetus and this. Second thing you have to remember, when the signal is coming, when the fully matured fetus and placenta is telling that yes, this is the time for parturition, our hypothalamus, the hypothalamus of the lady, mainly the hypothalamus, I think you know that is from the hypothalamus, okay, that is something is called paraventricular nucleus or PVN or paraventricular nucleus. You have to remember this paraventricular nucleus. This paraventricular nucleus will release something which is called oxytocin. So paraventricular nucleus will release something which is called oxytocin. It's a very, very important thing. And you have to remember this oxytocin, which is released from the hypothalamus, not pituitary, hypothalamus. It is released from the hypothalamus, but eventually they will be stored in the posterior pituitary. And then they will be mixed into the bloodstream. And when they are mixed into the bloodstream, ultimately via blood, they will come into the myometrium of uterus. They will come into the muscle of the uterus. So they will come into they will come in contact of muscle of the uterus, and in the muscle of the uterus, they will act only on the myometrium. So they will act on the myometrium. On the myometrium, what they will do, they will start the contraction procedure of the myometrium. So this muscle will start contracting. So this muscle will start contracting. And when this muscle will start contracting, the force is coming like this. The force is coming like this. So uterus is contracting. And when this uterus contraction is, okay, so uterus is contracting by which hormone? That is called myometrium. So uterus contracting. Okay, one more MCQ which is written in NCERT, that NCERT, I will just tell after some time. NCERT is asking, if a lady is unable to contract the uterus by the oxytocin hormone in her body, what the doctors will do? The doctors will inject artificial oxytocin hormone, which is actually named in different brand names that is not needed for you. But you have to remember the oxytocin. If the lady is unable to initiate adequate uterine contractions, we have to inject oxytocin in the vein so that oxytocin, artificial oxytocin, will come in contact with the myometrial cells where there is oxytocin receptor, and ultimately the myometrium will contract, uterus will contract, and baby will feel some pressure downwards, and the power and the baby will be delivered. Okay, so now the stage is that now we will consider what will happen next. The next thing is first stage of delivery. So you have to remember, okay, and this is actually called fetal ejection reflex. That is again important. The signal of parturition is also known as, there is on MCQ, this is called fetal ejection reflex. Fetal ejection reflex. Ejecting means we are making something out of the body, that is called ejection. So what is fetal ejection reflex? I mean, I am ejecting the fetus outside. What is milk ejection reflex? The mother is ejecting the milk outside the breast. That is called milk ejections. And if you are able to remember, the same oxytocin hormone also helps in contracting the mammary glands. Okay, those who have attended my class in mammary gland, I have mentioned there are a lot of alveoli glands, and those alveoli glands, I think you are able to remember that alveoli gland, there is something, another ducts, ductules. Okay, then there are, and ultimately they will open in the ampulla, and then is a lactiferous duct, and ultimately, you know, to contract this ampulla, we need again oxytocin hormone so that this milk will be ejected out. So oxytocin hormone, the MCQ is that the MCQ will be asked to you the function of oxytocin. Number one, fetal ejection reflex. Option B, milk ejection reflex. Option C, both. Answer is both. Oxytocin helps in fetus ejection as well as milk ejection from the breast. This is the MCQ that is coming from many years. So it's age-old hallmark MCQ we have to remember. The next thing, if the uterus is contracting, which is very, very important, if the uterus is contracting, which is very, very important, which is very, very important. The next thing you have to remember which is very, very important. Okay. So the next thing you have to remember, when the uterus is contracting, there will be three phases. The delivery, there will be definitely delivery, but the delivery will occur via three phases. So there will be delivery, delivery by three phase, by three stage or phase. The first stage number one, I'm right now I'm detailing the first stage. The first stage is known as stage of dilation. Stage of dilation. What is the stage of dilation? Stage of dilation means, suppose first you have to prepare the path. You have to prepare the passage of delivery. Can you tell me what is called birth canal? Who can tell me? I have already discussed in the anatomy of the female genital tract that this cervix and yes, the C and V, cervix and vagina, yes, both are together known as birth canal, because through this passage the fetus will come down. So this is called this is called birth canal. But the important thing is that what is the first changes in the stage of dilation? You have to remember, when you are trying to expel the baby outside the body of the mother, the first thing you have to do, suppose this was the amniotic membrane and with amniotic fluid, you have to rupture it, definitely now. Until and unless the membrane is ruptured, how the baby can be delivered? Because the whole baby is covered by amniotic membrane along with fluids. So you have to rupture this membrane first if you want to get this baby delivered out. So you have to remember this this baby has to get delivered out, and the first stage is that the amnion will be, I mean amniotic membrane, amnion will be ruptured. Amnion will be ruptured. Okay. And when the amnion will be ruptured, what you are expecting to come out from the vagina? Fluids, vaginal fluids. I mean, sorry, amniotic fluids. Amniotic fluids will come through vagina. Third thing you have to remember, again, very important, the passage, I mean this birth canal diameter will go increase. I mean the diameter, the cervical diameter will go increase. So cervical diameter, cervical passage, cervical diameter or cervical diameter will dilate, so that baby can come easily. That's why it is known as dilation. So why it is known as stage of dilation? Because here the cervix is dilating. Cervix is dilating. It is giving the passage. It is giving the baby passage to deliver. Second stage is that your passage is ready. Suppose your passage is ready. Just you have to deliver the baby. That's why it is called stage of delivery. Or it is called stage of expulsion. Stage of expulsion, or this is called stage of delivery. Now what will happen? Suppose this is the uterus, this is the cervix, this is the vaginal canal. What will happen? That the baby is right now outside the birth canal. It's not inside the birth canal. It is outside the birth canal. This is called stage of expulsion. Okay. This is called stage of expulsion. Okay. Sometime I found the question, the examiner is asking the duration. You have to remember the duration of this phase. That is the expulsion phase. How much time a baby should take to come from the birth canal. When the baby has already entered in the birth canal, it should take less than 1 hour to come out of this birth canal. But what is the time? I mean, what is the time of dilation phase? I mean, how much time the mother will take to rupture amniotic membrane and to dilate the cervix? It takes a lot of time. Even it can take 10 hours, 12 hours. So what is the duration of time? What is the duration for stage of dilation? Stage of dilation that I have discussed first, it will take 10 to 12 hours. For the stage of expulsion, it should take less than 1 hour. Actually, it takes almost like 15 minutes. Okay, so but it should take less than 1 hour. Okay, the third important, what is the stage of what is called after birth stage? what is called after birth stage. After birth stage means what is called after birth stage, or this is also called placental stage. This is called placental stage of delivery. It means when you have delivered the baby outside, when you have delivered the baby outside the uterus, you still have something that is called placenta like this. And you know, when the baby is delivered, our umbilical cord is still connected like this. So you have to cut the umbilical cord. And when in the phase of stage of delivery, I mean stage of expulsion, in the stage 2, you have already cut this umbilical cord, but still something is remaining in the uterine cavity, and that is actually called placenta. Okay, so now we have to deliver this placenta, and that's why this is called after birth phase. I mean the baby has already born, so now the placenta has to be delivered. So this is called placental phase or after birth phase. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? This is called placental phase or after birth phase. Then we have to take out this placenta.
Yes, sir.
And you have to clear this whole uterus. Are you getting my points? Okay. So the next thing is right now I will discuss right now. Next thing which is very, very important is that is something is called what is colostrum. And that's the last topic of the day. What is colostrum? What is colostrum? So as you know, immediately after the delivery, the baby have a need of milk. Okay, baby has need of milk. So definitely the mammary gland should produce milk adequately to support the baby. So what will happen? You already know. You even in the pregnancy phase, prolactin level is increased. That prolactin, which is secreted from the anterior pituitary by the acidophil cell, it will act on the blood. From the blood, some few portions of the blood, like mainly lactose and so on, they will come into in the water. Proteins, many more things will come and stored in the mammary glands, and they are nothing but the milk. And you know, here oxytocin is also there, and that oxytocin support will help in secreting the milk outside the breast. It's important. But what is the colostrum? The colostrum is that for the first 2 to 3 days or just after the delivery. Suppose today the baby has been delivered, just after next 2 to 3 days, you will find a thick yellow colored milk is coming out. It's a very important milk. It's a very nutritious milk. It's a very useful milk. And in previous days, the people used to eject it out, and they used to they used to simply discard this milk. But don't discard this milk, because in this milk, in the colostrum, there are a lot of antibodies are there, lot of proteins, lot of nutritions are there. So nowadays it is advised to every mother, please colostrum, you should use your colostrum. You should keep your baby to intake this colostrum. Okay, intaking colostrum for the baby is very, very important. Okay, because it is containing lot of antibody. Okay, now the next thing is that when after 2 to 3 days the colostrum is not coming out, then the normal milk will start ejecting out. Okay, and the normal milk ejection will start after 3 to 4 days, and it will continue. Okay, at least for the first initial few months. Okay, because and you have to remember, but what is the minimum time duration the mother should eject milk? That is a 6 month. Please remember, this is the MCQ. For first 6 months, the mother is supposed to feed only this. For the first 6 months, the mother is supposed to feed only milk, no artificial supplement, only milk. And that is called exclusive breast feeding. Exclusive breast feeding. Okay, no other, even not water, no water, no supplement, only milk for the first 6 months. Okay, this is important. And the last MCQ I will tell right now, that what is the antibody which is present in the milk? Which type of antibody? You know, there are 5 category of antibody: M, G, D, A, E. Which category of antibody you will find in the milk, in the bile, in the mucus? The answer is A.
A.
So you have to remember, all the remaining antibodies are present only in blood. They are floating in blood: M, G, D, E. But A is something what you can get in the milk, what you can get in the bile. As you are getting immunoglobulin A in the bile, you can also get immunoglobulin A in the stool also. You can also get immunoglobulin A in the in the mucus. Okay, so these are the different sites of secretions of the immunoglobulin A. That's why, as it is secreting from the body, it is not present in the body, as it is not present only in blood. Yes, it is present in blood as well, but apart from the blood, they are also secreting in with different type of secretions in the body. Even they can be present in tears. Okay, so in any secretion they can be present. That's why we are mentioning this IgA or immunoglobulin A as secretory antibody. Secretory antibody. We are mentioning this as secretory antibody. Are you getting my point? These all are MCQs. Whichever I have mentioned right now, these all are MCQs. Clear, everyone?
Yes,
Clear,
sir.
everyone? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One more question just for the informations, and then I will wind up these sessions, because I don't want to start any other new chapter today. So, and one thing I want to tell right now, in the holidays, I am planning to take some classes. Do you want to attend those classes? I mean, in the holidays. Suppose I am arranging the class on Dashera, or I am arranging the class in the Shoptami. Okay, I am arranging the class on the day after tomorrow. Okay. On the day after tomorrow, okay, I mean, you will also have a class of Roy Chaudhary sir on day after tomorrow. That is the last class. Then you will get the 3-day holiday. Okay, you will get 3 days, 3 holidays. But day after tomorrow, you have to attend the class. I mean, 23rd is the last day of live class. Then we'll have a gap of 24th, 25th, and 25th. And again, we'll start classes from the 26th. You will get 3-day holidays, and I'm requesting everyone, please use this time, because these are the time when you can make yourself ahead from the others. Just think about those now. Just think about those who are preparing from North India, who are preparing from South India. So they are not discarding this time. They are not taking these holidays. So try to, you have some free time there, definitely in the holidays for these 3 days, but definitely try to at least solve MCQs in these days. That will give you some extra edge from others. And you have to do something special now. If you are not doing something special, how can you expect some special rank in the NEET exam? You should have some special criteria. Okay. Okay, the next thing is, so just one question I'm telling right now. In the phase of 6 months, I mean exclusive breastfeeding, mother can be pregnant or not? Mother can be pregnant or not? Or not? What's your answer? In this 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding, I mean just after the delivery, for the next 6 months, mother cannot be pregnant. Not only 6 months, even for the 1 year, because in this time, in the blood of the mother, the mother will have high level of the prolactin, and high level of the prolactin prevents ovulation. And if you don't have any ovum, how you can get pregnant again? Okay. And this is the natural method of contraception. This is natural. This is considered as a natural method of contraception. And this is called, and in this time you will not have menstruations. In this 6 months, the mother will not have menstruations. And that's why it is known as lactational amenorrhea. I mean, during the phase of lactation, the mother is not menstruating. That's why it is called lactational amenorrhea. No menstruation. Menorrhea means menstruation. Amenorrhea means no menstruation. Lactational amenorrhea means in the phase of lactation, the mother is not having any menstruation. And the last question, you tell me which hormone helps in milk secretion and which hormone helps in milk ejection. So you should have a very owl eye like this, that whether the word is secretions or the word is ejection. If the word is secretion, go with the answer prolactin, or that is also known as lactotrophic hormone. If the word is ejection, go with the answer oxytocin. So question change, answer change, don't get confused. That is my take home message, and that is the end of this class. Next day, Friday on 23rd, I will just continue and I'll finish ECG. I think you can remember I was just continuing that portions. So we will continue that portion, ECG and the cardiac cycle. So definitely must attend. And that class I continue for the 2.5 hours, and that I will start again from the 8:30. So stay safe in the puja days. Don't go outside just only to wander here and there, because when we are very much concerned regarding the next outbreak, which is coming, which is actually going to happen. So stay safe, stay inside, just have some good food, listen some good musics, and enjoy your days with your family. Otherwise, read and read and read, because that will, if you read this 6 months, your next 60 years are going to be different from others. So this 6 months, 7 months for 20 to 21 batches, and for 22 batches, the next 1 year, 6 months, that will change your life a lot. The next 60 years will be changed. So devote your whole time, every time, and not only for the biology, please concentrate in physics and chemistry as well, because you already know how the Kaustubh sir is teaching, how the Roy Choudhury sir is teaching is amazing. We are making our teaching by creating polls and many things. It's so much interesting. We need your involvement and we need your ranks. So we are ready to do anything for your rank. But from your end, you have to devote yourself. And if you feel anything that you need extra support from us, that's why you feel free to write, feel free to email us, feel free to write in the feedback form. That's this is extra support we want. That I think you have mailed, someone of you have mailed that, sir, we need all the NCERT mark PDF. And we promise you by the end of this month, or maybe in the next first week of the next month, we will provide the inorganic chemistry NCERT marked PDF along with the mentioned MCQs, and as well as for all the physics important lines, because I know this will also help you to give some extra confidence that I know every bit of lines, every bit of NCERT. Okay. And definitely use your personal mentorship group of physics and chemistry. You already know all the mentors, mentors are putting a lot of time. So just ask your doubt in the physics and chemistry in the personal mentorship group as well. Okay. So if you want to ask any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we will end this sessions here. Boishakhi, Arnab, Dipannita, Ritom, Madhuparna, Shreya, Shubham, Gayatri. Yeah, tell me. Yes, who is here?
The stage of expulsion and delivery time ta koto bolen?
Yeah, stage of expulsion. Stage of expulsion, it should take less than 1 hour. Less than 1 hour.
Almost. Ota ki 15 minutes, not 50 minutes.
Which one?
Ota
15. Okay. No need to remember the time actually. Just for your practical sense, I have told that normally it takes 15 minutes to deliver the baby from the birth canal. Sometime it might take 30 minutes, but it should not go more than 1 hour. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, and I haven't mentioned the durations of the placenta. I mean, within how much time the placenta should go out, and there is also a time. You did not to remember those times, so forget about those junk material. I'm not mentioning those junk informations. You can even forget these informations, that what is the time of stage of dilation, what is the time of stage of delivery. Just remember the concept that what is happening in stage of delivery, what is happening in stage of dilations. In the next day, we'll start reproductive health in the Wednesday class, and in the Friday class, I will finish the circulatory system. And one thing to remember, one thing to mention, I might take some extra classes in Sunday. Okay, and that I will mention. Don't worry, in the notice group. Okay, so if you have any query, you can ask, and definitely prepare for the exam. Prepare for the exam. Just immediately after these holidays, I think, you know, on the 29th, the question is already, we are already processing the questions. So just get ready to have a good result. And have you received your grade book? Have you received your grade book? It will be mailed to you. I think if not, it will be mailed to you. The progressions of your performances on each and every subject, physics, chemistry, biology, it will be emailed to you. It will be emailed to your parents as well. So don't think that that you simply overlook. So, and in the parent teachers meeting, it will be shown on the screen. So just focus every prep-mate test, take in this way that it is the test of my actual NEET exams. If you have any ideas, if you have any strategy to implement in the exam, try to implement in the exam of this test series. Okay, don't think that I will do something extra in my actual NEET exam. You cannot. If you have any extra strategy that what to attempt first, physics, chemistry, bio. Basically, I suggest to attempt first bio as soon as possible. Try to finish biology and then put your brain to solve the next confident subject. It might be physics or chemistry for you, and then try to solve the third confident subject. That will actually help you in carrying the confidence till the last second of your exam, and it will also help in saving time. Okay, so that is something small and small bits of small things of strategy of attempting test. And please follow the 1 year and 2 year syllabus chasing strategy that I have given in a video format, that I have given in an Excel sheet format. If you haven't received, mention it in the group that, sir, I haven't received, I am a new student, please give me in your personal mentorship group, you mention this, and the mentors will send you personally to you. Okay, definitely follow this, the 1 year, 2 year syllabus chasing strategies, because if you follow those syllabus chasing Excel sheet, after 1 month is over, you can have a good account. You will have an account of your preparations. When you will see that in last 1 month, I have done these things, I have planned so many things, but I have targeted per day, these are the portions, but I was unable to finish that portions. I had to retarget again, and right now I am able to finish the target on every single day. So my speed of learning, my speed of reading has been increased. That is something you can conclude easily. Okay, so signing off for today, and read these things, and definitely solve MCQs. I have already mentioned that if you are solving each and every MCQs from MTG NEET Champion, then for 2 times, every questions, every concept you can crack in NEET exams. Okay, so bye bye, take care, lots of love. If you have any doubt, you can ask, otherwise I am leaving these sessions. Do you have any doubt? Tina, Ohona, Ombika, Omrita, Onokha, Onindo, Onkita, Onkush, Orno, Boishaki, Dipanita, Ritam, Madhu, Porna, Shreya, Shubhodeep, and Shubham, Maiti, and Gayatri. And one thing I want to tell you, that try to attend the live classes. I know many of you, they are watching the website classes. I know. In fact, 70% students are attending the website classes as well. But this is my simple suggestion. Please attend the class live. This will create an extra impact in your brain. Those who are unable to attend, they are attending the session from the website, all right. But don't get motivated by them and start attempting the recorded sessions from the website directly. If you have missed the session, that's all right. You don't have any options. Watch those videos. But if you have options to attend the class live, try to attend those classes live. Okay. And we will have a revision session as well after the month of January, because by the month of the January end, we will finish each and every chapters. Okay. Okay. So bye-bye. Take care. Lots of love, lots of blessings. Bye-bye.